Hey folks, welcome back to this edition of Finance Fridays. I'm your host Lucas Ballahood with Coldwell Banker and the Ballahood Group. Now, this week I'm joined again by our good friend Alex Job, our mortgage specialist with RBC. Alex, how are things with you today?
Good, good, good. We're finally into summer.
I know, right? It's the sort of first official week of the summer. It's been a smoking
Yeah.
hot, humid week out here, but you can hear the AC units going and the flowers are blooming and people
Mine's
are out
on.
walking, getting out. Yeah, it's great. I mean, obviously there was a long, cold winter and a lot of snow.
Hmm.
And it was a bit of a wet spring, so it's nice to see some sunshine this week anyway.
Hmm.
Now, I wanted to chat a little bit about, well, obviously we just passed Father's Day. How did you enjoy the
Happy
weekend?
Father's Day. Happy Father's Day to you.
Yeah, thank you, thank you. Always a fun time, of course, to get spoiled a little bit by the boys. Yeah, what'd you guys get up to?
Oh, so busy. We had three birthday parties and then, have to spoil the dads in our life. So it was eventful.
Yeah, well, no doubt. I managed to escape and go to the driving range for a couple hours, or not a couple hours,
Good
for
for
an hour,
you.
hit some golf balls, and I get to go hang out with the boys and have some fun in the backyard. So it was a low-key
Awesome.
day for me. I quite enjoyed it.
Awesome.
Yeah. So there's been quite a lot going on in the not only the investment world, but the real
Hmm.
estate world too. So, I want to chat a little bit about a few things here today. Not getting into the financing aspect of things too quickly here, but there's three ways typically that someone can buy a home. And I want to talk about one of those specifically today. We can focus on the resale market, which a lot of people are familiar with. There is the opportunity to buy vacant land and develop it, build it yourself, hire a contractor, manage that whole project, and build something new on your own. Or in the pre-construction market, whether you're working with a
Hmm.
builder for a new home or a condo building, that's a very popular market as well. And there's a lot of conversation going around housing supply and what we're going to do with, to build homes faster and all those things. And
Yeah.
certainly a hot topic around the, recent elections that we had here in Ontario as well. So let's
Hmm.
focus on that for a few minutes today, if we could, Alex. In your experience,
Sure.
how does financing work in the pre-construction world? I know, and maybe I'll talk from the buyer's perspective for a moment. How this would typically work is, once you go to buy a home from the builder, there's a typical deposit schedule you need to
Right.
follow and make sure you're paying those on the agreed upon schedule that you have with the
Yep.
builder. And typically those projects take a couple of years to build
To
until you
complete.
actually get occupancy, right? So
Right.
you know on a resale property, the financing works relatively quickly. As you buy the home, you get the mortgage relatively quick, and then closing happens usually within a couple of months, right? But this is something that's a little
Right.
much more drawn out in pre-construction. So how does that work
Yeah.
from your end?
So there are certainly a lot of builder sites across Durham region, across Ontario. We do have a lot of people that are relocating to different areas of the province. But anyways, you want to go visit the builder site, the sales office. Now, so many people are doing that in person. At one time, it was virtual, but there they are. There, a lot of these sites are back and open, and you want to check with the builder sales agent that's there on site as to what the deposit schedule is going to be. It's in increments, a certain amount. I usually see like a 30-day, 60-day, and 90-day, and even 120 days where they're asking for the money as deposits. And of course, that goes towards your down payment. So that'll be counted for as paid, right? Um, and one thing to note for our builder sites is that RBC offers builder pricing. So depending on when the closing date is, we sort of have a grid to go by. We can offer builder pricing to cap a client's rate. So this is different than our standard, like you were saying, the resale market and a client that's closing or getting pre-approved for 120 days. Being pre-approved is still important when you're buying at a builder site so that you can afford what you're going to purchase, okay? That's still the first step is the pre-approval. But
Of
as soon as
course.
you get as soon as you get that purchase agreement in place with the builder, we want to give you a firm approval for the builder site and cap the interest rate. So even if it's closing 2 or 3 years from now, you can still get your guaranteed financing from RBC. Hey, it may be subject to the sale of a property because if you're living in a house now and you plan to sell it prior to getting into the new one, we may have to confirm that sale goes through. But yeah, you don't have to scramble, even if it's far out from now. Some people go, oh, I'll deal with the financing later. We don't know what we're going to be in for in regards to interest rates or qualifying rates. So you can get qualified today and approved, and we'll cap your interest rate. So during the phase of construction, you'll be guaranteed a capped rate. And if prices are lower at that time, or the retail rate offers are lower at the time of closing, we can, of course, honor that lower rate. So it's a good guarantee. I had some clients, even last year, we did builder stuff. They're coming up, they're going to close in the fall, and they capped their rate with me. And now they're like, we're looking at the rate sheet, and rates are so much higher. So they're so happy that they locked in the rate at that time. So anyways, it's one of those things that we can certainly help our clients with, and I'd be more than happy to speak to your clients' unique situations if they need someone to chat to.
Yeah, absolutely. It's and you know what? It's like this principle with that you guys have at RBC, where once you give that commitment, you lock into it, and you're not necessarily wavering on that. Again, like you said, if the resale market, we give that firm approval right away, and you're guaranteed to get
Yeah.
that mortgage at closing. And
Yeah.
just like you're kind of guaranteeing the rates. If someone bought that pre-construction last year when rates were 3% or what have you, half of what they are
Yeah.
today,
Yeah.
then they're laughing right now, right? What a
Yeah.
great peace of mind that even
Brokers,
2 years down the road they get that.
Luke, just so you know, brokers can't offer, like they'll issue a client a pre-approval, of course, but again, it expires. So really it means nothing if you're buying something with a long closing.
Hmm. And
Okay.
speaking of rates, like June 1st
Yeah.
was the last rate increase announcement where they, Bank of Canada raised rates about 50 base points,
Right.
which
Hmm.
obviously trickles down into our big lenders like you guys at RBC. And I saw just from when June 1st happened, there's been about a 50 base point increase on those contract rates.
Yeah.
Where are things heading as we start moving closer to that mid-June
I
announcement or July announcement?
I was expecting like the July one, right, to come back on and say, yeah, okay, prime's changed, or because we're sort of expecting that. But our fixed
Yeah.
has moved as well. This week, RBC will see that fixed pricing increase. It's really hard to keep our finger on, and just to, I wish I had a crystal ball to share with you where it's going and when it's going to stop. But like I said, we're in for that ride. And when I look at rates today, like the last time we were chatting in the start of June, they were like teetering around that 5% or just slightly over 5%. Now we're at, just to give you an example, like 5.34 or 5.44 for a 5-year fix. And in theory, our clients should still be able to afford the mortgages that they had or qualified for before, because we were qualifying our rates in that 5%, qualifying our clients in that 5% range, which is the whole purpose of a qualifying rate. So clients' total debt servicing, should be around that 42% based on that 5%. And that means that clients should be able to afford their debt if they haven't overextended themselves beyond, when they were last pre-qualified. So I hope that's the case, but if anyone needs any assistance, I can certainly go over things with them.
Yeah, it's interesting. I guess that kind of shows, even looking back 4 or 5 years ago when they put in the stress test and you had to qualify
Yeah.
a contract rate plus 2% or whichever. I
We
missed the
didn't
first
like
part of
that,
that.
but good
Yeah,
thing,
right. Everyone freaked out
good
about it,
thing
but
is,
now it's actually
yeah.
protecting people.
It
It's
is,
doing
and
its
that was
job.
the whole point. That was the whole point of it, and here we are at a point where we do need it, because
Mhm.
now we're prepared for these rates. Although it affects everyone's pockets, it's something that hopefully we can just trek through, right?
Yeah. And I mean, the average price when the market peaked back in February,
Hmm.
the prices have come down in Durham around 19-20%
That's
since then. And
wild.
that's at least compared to May. But I was just crunching some
Hmm.
numbers before our call here, just trying to see where the trends
Uh-huh.
were starting to go with the activity in Durham region. And there still
Hmm.
are a number, like we've got a week left in the month here.
Yeah.
So there's a number of conditional sales that haven't disclosed their sales prices yet because they're still a conditional sale. But there's been
Okay.
545 as at the time of this recording. Almost 550 firm sales have taken place, and the average
Okay.
sale price has actually increased on a week over week basis from the start of
Yeah.
June till now. We're a little over $1 million again. So we'll see how that shakes out, of course, once those, as the month sort of wraps up
Okay.
in the next week here, we'll see how things sort of shake out. But we're trending to have fewer sales than we did in May. We had a little over 1,000 last month,
Wow.
and
Uh-huh.
now we're at least trending in the direction to be under that number. So that could be another reason
Under? Yeah.
why average prices would go up a little bit, just there's a fewer number of sales in there,
Okay.
and that might have an
Uh-huh.
impact on it. But it'll be interesting to see what happens when we get to chat about this more in July.
In July. I do like that, reflecting, and then we're staying relative to what's going on. You're educating me, Luke, all the time.
That's why we're here. Yeah, so it's a lot of interesting things going on in the market right now. So if you've been pre-approved and you're locked in for the next 90 or 120 days at your current rate, and you're in the market to buy a home, I'd say get out there and get looking because there's still a lot more
Yeah.
inventory. It's taking longer to sell than it had in previous months. So it's a better time for buyers. There's a little bit more leverage that they have now over sellers
Hmm.
than they did previously.
Hmm.
So from the buying side, that's nice. But it's likely that this sort of uncertainty in the markets is going to continue for a little while.
Hmm.
I've seen a number
Unique
of,
here.
of listings lately because we're online all day looking at these things, or every day looking at what's going on. And I see a number of properties listed, at a certain price. They don't get any certain activity or they don't get any offers, so they drop the price. And then if things don't, progress at the trend or the direction they want or get the number that they want, they take it right back up again. So I'm seeing
Yeah.
some
What's
price
with that?
shifting all over the place right now.
Because they
I
just
really
don't
think
know how to raise the market, or they're
I
testing the
think
water.
it's a bit of sellers are looking maybe for a particular number in order to motivate them
Yeah.
to move. Where before, people are selling before they're buying now, where it was
Hmm.
backwards before. People had
Okay.
had to wait to list their house because they needed to know they had somewhere to go, right? They had to buy first. So I think we're seeing a little bit of
Right.
that
Now it's
throwing the
so the
line out to
seller will
see if
put
they're
it
going to
on.
catch what they
Yeah.
want.
Right. And they'll say, we'll move if we get this price.
hmm Yeah, I think
Right.
that's some of people's situations, and
Hmm.
but we're still seeing some beautiful homes come on the market and selling for some pretty spectacular numbers. So there's still a lot of demand out there, which is a good thing. But buyers do have a little more leverage, so they're taking their time and
Yeah.
squeezing every bit that they can out of those offers and those sellers. It's
Cool.
interesting. Well, Alex, is there anything else we need to cover today? I know we've been through quite a bit of content here
Well,
so far. Is there anything else we should be
it
covering this week?
It reminded me because you said Father's Day, you hit a few golf balls. I still need to get out to the driving range because that tournament's coming up. It's going to be here before we know it. I don't know if you want to recap again on that date. It's July.
July 21st, actually. So we're just
Okay.
inside a month. So for anyone who's interested in joining the Coldwell Banker charity golf tournament for the Boys and Girls Clubs of Durham Region and Kawartha Lakes, we're going to be out at Black Diamond Golf Course out off the 115 towards Peterborough. We'll be there July 21st for our annual golf tournament. So that's going to be a lot of fun. So you do need to get out on the
Yes,
range.
I
Maybe next
do.
time I'll have to pick you up and bring you out with me when I manage to
Okay.
sneak out.
Okay, let's do it.
Yeah, should be fun. Well, awesome, Alex. Well, thanks for mentioning that
Okay.
again too. I just looking down at the calendar. I was like, oh yeah, it's coming up quick
Yeah, it's
here.
going to be here.
Yeah, so that's definitely going to be a fun time. But yeah, get out there, enjoy some sunshine if you can. It's a beautiful day. It's been a beautiful week, and hopefully that weather continues.
Right.
Well,
Okay.
folks,
Thanks so much,
uh,
Luke.
yeah, and thanks for being here again, Alex. Folks, thanks so much for following along and joining us today. You'll find our contact information if you have any questions for Alex or myself at the end of this video here. Feel free to comment, like, subscribe, all that fun stuff, and we'll see you around here again soon. So until next time, bye for now.